Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In today's video we'll be talking about the best A-class construct. We already talked about the S classes, now it's time to talk about the A classes, which one we should level up. And we all know that this is just the beginning of the game and there will be a lot more A classes. This video is dedicated to showcase the best A-class constructs that are released right now. So let's begin with Lucias. We have two Lucias at the beginning, the B class and the A class Lucia, and we'll be including her in the A class section as well. I'll just keep it very short. We can basically dodge her because there's nothing special about her and we constantly need to try to use her hidden skill, otherwise she basically does no damage at all, and her damage is so little that it's not worth even considering her to be mentioned in this video. I'm sorry Lucia, but these two Lucias, the B class and the A class Lucias, are extremely weak, so we will be just skipping her. Okay, let's talk about Nanami. Nanami? Well, I think it's Nanami, I don't know. The B class Nanami. She's great. Actually, she's quite good. Even for a B class, if you upgrade her, she's quite useful because she's the best shield breaker in the game, for now at least, and she has quite decent abilities. She's providing whole team with a shield when she's using her signature move, and also she has a damage reduction as well. All of her skills are focused on breaking the shield, so she's quite good. A good choice actually if anyone wants to upgrade her. And at the early game it's kinda necessary even to upgrade her because she's quite useful in many teams. For example, I'm using her in my Karenina team, she's also useful in the Alpha team, and etc. She can be built quite differently, everyone has its own preferences, but if you ask me, the best probable set for her is to build, for example, 4 Catherines, which basically reduces the target's physical defense, and also when you're taking damage you're gaining a shield and increasing the physical damage as well. As for the 2-piece set, well, here's an interesting option to give her like 2 of Einstein piece, which basically reduces the elemental resistance of the enemies. So in this way she can be built like for both the elemental team and for the physical team as well. For example, there is another kind of build for the 2-piece set. Actually, we can use Da Vinci as well. It's basically increasing attack and defense for the constructs on the field, which is quite good for both elemental and physical characters as well. Or there is this kind of option as well to go for 2-2-2 build. So that will be 2 Da Vinci's, 2 Einsteinas and 2 Catherine sets. Okay, now let's talk about Karenina Blast. Personally, I really like her. I could count her as one of the best A classes as well, because she does quite a lot of damage for an A class character, but here's the thing. She requires a specific build in order to do that tons of damage. For example, every single time 3 ping is triggered, she's like gathering stacks, and you need like 3 stacks of these 3 pings to trigger her hidden move. Her hidden move is like she's picking up her bazooka and basically firing from that, and that's where the damage comes. But she's also used as a support because in her QTE form she's like gathering enemies, and which is quite useful, and she has a lot of AoE damage as well on her signature move and with those skills, for example like gathering. As for the build, So some people actually build her like 4 Hannas and 2 Darwins, but I don't think Darwin is that a good option because you have to constantly use 3 pings, 3 set of pings instead of 1, and I prefer to use either Da Vinci or Coty because her hidden move basically triggers either from using 3 sets of 3 pings or using her ultimate move, the signature move. So either go with 4 Hana and 2 Da Vinci's because Da Vinci is like adding extra attack and defense while the QTE is triggered. So as for the Kaori, well, basically you can use your signature move faster with it. So yeah, that's one of the options you could also consider as well. And why Da Vinci? Because it depends if we will be using her as a main DPS or a support, because in case of a support, when QTE is triggered, basically it's increasing the damage of the construct that is on the field. So yeah, I think this is the best build for now, at least, because there will be a lot better builds out there in the future. So let's talk about the laugh of the internet, the meme character Lee. So why Lee became a meme? Well, basically in his description it said that it does 40% fire damage, but only one skill is triggering that fire damage, and it's basically like putting a pool of fire on the ground and you basically can't even miss that. So just avoid building him on fire damage. As a physical DPS he does not bad of a damage, and I didn't mention that Karenina does have that fire damage as well, but just ignore it. Build her on the actual physical damage as well. In case of physical damage, she's quite not bad, an AoE DPS which does a physical damage, and basically any kind of physical build works on him, and yeah, you can actually use him in the fight as well. A good option for the Pale Fire Lee would be go for Condalina, 4-piece set and 2-piece set of Da Vinci. Okay, let's talk about Bianca, and honestly I really like her. She's, for an A class, is one of the best A classes for a single target, well, DPS, and actually she's quite good in Phantom Fate Cage because there is only one target, and she's basically a nuker. As for her build, we have 2 options. Either go with 4 Codys and 2 Condalinas. The 4 Codys is basically like increases your energy income and your firing ultis more often. She can actually use 2 ultis in a full gouge, and also this will enable us to use like 3 times as well, because she does a lot of damage with her ultimate and with her signature move. And after the signature move is used, all the damage is increases by 15%, and she also gains a super armor just in case, to be safe. And second option is to go with 4 Condalinas and 2 Codys. Both builds are kinda like almost the same. In one case you're just spamming ultimates, and in the second case you're just basing attacking all the time. I don't know, probably the best option would be 4 Codys in Phantom Fate Cage, but in different kind of situations probably 4 Condalinas and 2 Codys will be the best option. And let's talk about the Kamui Bastion. Most people hate him, and he's also laugh of the internet. I don't know why, but probably I can guess that because he's extremely slow. He's a counter-attacker type of tank, but for a tank he does a good damage with that swing, but he's too slow. As for his build, basically it's exactly the same as Nanami's build. He's kinda useful, but not in many ways. Although he kinda blocks a lot of damage and he has a lot of, you know, shield, also the counter attack, so yeah, he's kinda decent. Okay, let's talk about Watanabe. And he's kinda like a single target DPS, and he does extra damage when he's backstabbing. Not my favorite character because he's kinda hard to play, because you just need to get behind the targets to actually do a good amount of damage. And she almost has same kind of build as, well, basically all the physical DPSs and etc. Let's take for example the Bianca build. Yup, she requires the same, he requires the same build. What's different is that we could go for 4 Karenina and 2 pieces set of Frederick, because we need that extra movement speed to get behind the targets and do that extra damage. So yeah, probably the best build will be 4 Karenina and 2 Fredericks. Well, the leaves are left. The B class leaf, and there is also A class leaf and S class leaf. So let's keep it short. Every leaf is good. The difference is that this one, the A class, does a bit more damage than the rest, but they're basically used for healing, so yeah, you have to build all of the leaves as a healer. So that will be for now, because even if you check the recommended builds, mostly she requires a healer's build as well. So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you all for watching and see you in next video.